Welcome to another Barker commentary video. In this video I'll be reflecting back on products that have simply blown up or caused fire, as well as there seems to be more threadripper news that have popped up, and of course the RTX 2060 12GB. Someone has done it again and has reviewed the RTX 2060 12GB. Alright, let's move on to the video. So, for the first item that caught my attention, that blew up or was a fire hazard, was the Nzxt riser cable, which they included into their H1 ITX case. That for that case you needed the riser cable so that you can install like a full-on desktop graphics card instead of just using an APU. That riser cable, when it first came out, the first few, community and reviewers all found that old riser cable was faulty, and there was a massive fault where that out of factory that there was PCB damage, and as a result of that PCB damage it causes fire. So what did Nzxt do? They tried to do this temporary patch thing and just try to walk it off and be like, yeah, this temporary patching will work, until the community completely told them. Nzxt is like, no, you cannot do a temporary patch. What happens if, we sell this thing case and then we sell it with the riser cable, and the second-hand user doesn't know about this temporary patch and replaces it? Yeah, there you go. Problems again. This, as a result of reviewers and community smashing Nzxt, Nzxt finally caved and put a permanent solution and did the dreaded mass recall of their product, which would have cost them more money, but it would have gave them more reputation if they did it first before they were like, yeah. However, eventually Nzxt has obviously solved this issue, but there are other reports of such as hardware gamernexus did kind of confirm in the back end that the Nzxt senior management, I think somewhere within the founders or within very hard, has apologized in the back end of be like, hey, sorry, we had all this debacle about the riser cable and us refusing to give a permanent patch and just temporary patch it. And from some of the statement that, from what I read from the gamernexus and other media, Nzxt is like, sorry, we will redo our employee training so that our employee does not do these things ever again. Where obviously you need the employee, one rogue employee doing stuff like this is going to give your whole company a bad reputation, and hopefully they stick to the good ideology and hopefully avoid any PR nightmare. Another item that caught on fire that has my attention is the Gigabyte gold power supply that were being bundled with a lot of the graphics cards, and some of them didn't even reach the minimum wattage requirement for those graphics cards. So gamernexus decided to go buy those power supply and tested them. TLDR, what did they do? The testing found that some of the safety was super high, and when the safety limit did eventually reach, the power supply got permanent damage, and that basically if it rebooted, but however it was no longer able to supply the amount of voltage that the power supply was rated for. Again, what did Gigabyte do? Well, Gigabyte tried to give your generic PR thing and just be like, yeah, we fixed it. Yeah, they did eventually fix it with a silence. However, they never really did like a recall until, well, this shit just hit the fan. And then Gigabyte's like, hey, yeah, we found the power supply that are faulty just due to manufacturing. Yeah, for anyone that bought the manufacturer, yeah, please just send it back. So basically, due to community and reviewers putting pressure on Gigabyte, they have caved and, well, done it and fixed this problem. This Nzxt and Gigabyte is both an example of companies doing the bare minimum essential to do customer support, as they think, yeah, well, let's just do the bare minimum, not really give the customers a little bit better customer experience. Where in my experience, customers, if you just do bare minimum, they will lose trust with your brand, and they would be looking elsewhere for next time they're buying the same product, or they might even be like, I'm just like what I do, some of my parts, I'm just done. If me and Asus, I'm just done with Asus. You're just not gonna buy their shit and use their shit, pre-built shit anymore, because my pre-built experience with Asus is just trash. Another products that blowing up and has a fire hazard is the Fractal Torrent case fan hub. This situation, surprisingly, not a lot of people found out, but when the situation did start to get some media attention, Fractal immediately went and just didn't go say, oh, we'll temporarily fix it. No, they went in and be like, yes, we'll investigate which batch went faulty or what went wrong, and as always, they found that in certain manufacturing batches, again, faulty fan hubs. So what did Fractal Design do? They went and spent money and R&D to redesign the fan hub, and as well as they notified all the customers and the retailers that carried the case to immediately stop as soon as this issue popped up, and where they didn't neanderthal and just be like, yeah, we just sell the faulty stock off and hopefully no one warranties it. So good on you, Fractal Design. You did what I reckon most companies should be doing, which is go a little bit beyond and you've proven that you're not just some fucking giant corporate machine, and you're still a human to a sentient human being feeling. Yeah. As well as after when on this, Fractal has done launched a new fan hub and fixed it up. Fractal sent out the new fan hub to the reviewers to be field tested, and should any fail, it seems that the revision 2.0 fan hub was fixed, and a lot of the manufacturing defects, well, they fixed it, or if they were to happen, it will have inbuilt mitigation for those defects. So yeah, final verdict on this: good job, Fractal Design. If you want to sponsor this channel, I welcome you. Sponsorship from Fractal. Another product that blown up and got my attention is the Asus X690 Extreme motherboard. This debacle so far is ongoing as of writing and producing of this video, and there isn't a complete story about it. So far what has happened during writing and the production of this video, that Asus has updated the BIOS to mitigate this problem. But however, as Nzxt and BuildZoid from Actual Hardcore Overclocking more of Actual Hardcore Overclocking BuildZoid has found that that one of the motherboard MOSFET for their RAM seems to be polarity has been switched, and that MOSFET when you flip polarity, it will not work as intended and will have erratic behavior, which causes the downside of all this Asus X690 Extreme motherboard blowing up and causing house fires. So yeah, opinion time. I hope Asus deals with this professionally and, recalls the faulty batch motherboards and fixes it, and as well as any that is owned by the customers or in the retail channel, as I don't think customers who buy these Z690 Hero motherboards, they are premium products, and I don't think when you tell those customers that paid close to like 600, 700 US and that their expensive product is faulty, I don't think those people will be very happy. So please, Asus, for the love of God, please deal with this problem without the need of the community and a reviewer smashing on you. To be like, hey, you gotta fucking fix this shit before someone's house goes up on fire, and that probably they will sue you, Asus, for fucking because your motherboard caused a giant house fire. The last product that got my attention is a Acer gaming monitor that went on fire. gamernexus, again, as always, investigated the Acer gaming monitor going up in fire, and what did they discover? It seems that the power supply for that monitor is faulty, and if you actually replace the power supply component that is defective, well, it's back to a working, functional video. As well as, yeah, enough of talking about products going up in flames, and let's talk about, well, some rumored products that are incoming. Threadripper news. Okay, I think with the Threadripper 5000 series, I think the standard Threadripper is dead, and AMD seems to just only want to sell Threadripper Professional. Well, this is kind of yikes, as, well, the AMD Threadripper for the 1000, 2000 series, what were they known for? Value, and had some unique use case where they don't need as much cores, but they need the crazy amount of PCIe lane store I/O of a Threadripper, but they want a core count of, well, your consumer CPU, so like 8, 16 cores. Opinion time. I think AMD, if you kill off your AMD Threadripper lineup and don't offer the AMD Ryzen 1000, 2000 series buyers any upgrade path, you have basically abandoned another market of yours, which those people that bought your AMD Ryzen Threadripper 1000, 2000, they knew that they were buying a new unknown product, that you were an underdog and you didn't really have the reputation, but however their use case was, hey, I could buy an AMD Threadripper cheaper than buying your competition Intel X299 platform. So basically, AMD, you have ditched your old loyal customers to get the new customers that might not be as brand loyal as you, and the old customers, yeah, basically you ditched what your old customers basically kept you alive during 2017 and 18 and did the word of mouth marketing for you guys about Threadripper and your server Epic and Rome CPUs, and now you're successful, and now you're Mr. Successful, and now we don't need your marketing, your mouth-to-mouth marketing, So it's basically, yikes, AMD. I hope you do eventually wake up and just launch a new Threadripper series that is budget friendly, so that those AMD Threadripper 1000, 2000 buyers have an upgrade path, have a new platform to work with the PCIe 4.0. And lastly, the RTX 2060 12GB has been finally reviewed. The review in question was done by Hardware Unboxed. So if you want the full in-depth review, please go watch Hardware Unboxed's review. Okay, did you watch the review? Yeah? Okay, now time for my opinion about the RTX 12GB. What the review basically said was the RTX 2060 6GB is plenty of VRAM, of memory, and bandwidth, and that the 12GB, if you're a gamer, is not really worth it, and you might as well go buy the RTX 2060 6GB. But however, this RTX 2060 12GB is basically not for you gamers, is for the miners. And as always, Nvidia has, with the 30 series, has always pretended to be on the side of the gamers, but in the back end they just keep flipping the bird at us gamers and the consumers, which built up the Nvidia brand to let and given them the money to research and develop new graphics card, both for us as consumers and gamers, and for their now very profitable Quadro lineup, and their professional architecture. Nvidia, you need to go cater towards your old loyal customers instead of, well, your new customers that have zero loyalty and will not hesitate to go buy other brand of graphics card as soon as your stuff is no longer viable. As you can see from this video, that a lot of times products being manufactured during this current world situation is kind of being rushed, and QC has just been super relaxed as current, and just cost savings up the ass and then backfiring. This is what I believe is the reality, but meanwhile the manufacturers want you to believe that, oh hey, we have some really hard time getting our hands on these components. Hey man, it's the world situation started in 2019. It's 2021. It's how long, and you still haven't fixed your shit? Well, guess what? We as consumers shouldn't be dealing with that. It's up to your fault, and your as company, you guys are making sky high profit. So why not take some of the fucking profit that you made during this woe situation and fucking invest it in making better fucking, whatever is causing this shitty, give us better supply chain. Okay? So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this bit longer video than the video. Like and subscribe for more videos from Barker Commentary.